Hello, my name is Michael L. Jones. I'm the author of the book Louisville Jug Music and a board member of the National Jug Band Jubilee. I'm at the Fraser History Museum where I helped curate this exhibition on Kentucky music celebrating the sounds of Kentucky. And jug band music plays a big part of the Kentucky sound in this exhibit. The Jubilee was created in 2004 to celebrate jug band music, a pre-World War II jazz style that thrived in river towns from 1890 to the early 1930s. Each year, the Jubilee holds a free all-day festival that attracts jug bands from around the world. We also send bands to schools before the Jubilee to educate students about jug band music. Louisville is considered the home of jug band music because we produced the first jug bands to record. Enslaved Africans brought jug blowing to America along with the banjo. In isolated areas of the Appalachian Mountains, these African musical traditions merged with the Scotch-Irish fiddle tradition to form old-time music. The Africans picked the fiddle up quickly because they grew up with similar bowed instruments, but they did not always have access to instruments. They were forced to make do with household objects like animal bones, spoons, and empty bottles. There was a continuum of music in river towns along the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. So what was happening in New Orleans was also going on in Louisville, Cincinnati, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. In the 1890s, spasm bands began to appear in New Orleans' Storyville red light district. These were kids' bands that played on homemade instruments. Because of Louisville's thriving bourbon industry, the spasm groups in the River City gravitated to the jug, which was known as the poor man's tuba. Bar owners immediately recognized the promotional value of these groups. Many of Louisville's businesses would sponsor their own jug bands to play at store openings or events. The first jug bands to record were Sir Martins Jug Band and Whistler's Jug Band. Martin grew up in Louisville's Smoketown neighborhood. Her musical career took off when she recorded Sugar Blues with New Orleans pianist Clarence Williams. Martin was a classic blues singer. These were well-dressed female singers who were backed by jazz groups. She was already a star on the vaudeville circuit when she began recording for OK Records in 1922. Martin also became a talent scout for OK Records. The first artist she brought to label was guitarist Sylvester Weaver, who also grew up in the Smoketown neighborhood. In 1923, he and Martin recorded Longing for Daddy Blues and I've Got to Go and Leave My Daddy Behind for OK. These recordings were the first time that a singer was backed by only a guitar. The following year, other blues women would also record with just a guitar accompaniment. Weaver's solo guitar recording career began in November 1923 with Guitar Blues and Guitar Rag. This blues milestone was the first time a solo guitar instrumental was ever recorded, and this slide guitar instrumental became a Western swing hit for Bob Wills in 1936. He recorded it as Steel Guitar Rag. During Weaver's most productive period, he recorded solo and as a duo with fellow Louisville guitarist Walter Beasley. Weaver also served as a talent scout for OK Records. In 1927, he heard a young 14-year-old Helen Humes sing at the Palace Theater. Later that year, she joined Weaver and Beasley in New York to record Cross-Eyed Blues and Garlic Blues. A later dispute between Weaver and OK led to him leaving the music business. After her groundbreaking recordings with Weaver, Martin made recording history again when she went into a New York studio with 3 members of the Louisville Jug Band: jug blower Earl McDonald, fiddler Clifford Hayes, and banjo player Cal Smith. OK Records released 10 sides from these sessions in 1925 and credited the music to Sir Martins Jug Band. Just a few days after Martin and Louisville Jug Band went into the studio, another Louisville group, Whistler's Jug Band, were recording in Richmond, Indiana for Jeanette Records. The band was led by Buford Threckle, who was known as Whistler because he played a nose whistle. His sessions started just a few days after Martin's. Among the songs released from the Whistler session were Jerry O' Mine and Folding Bed. These recordings by Martin and Whistler were well received and ignited jug band craze that lasted till the Great Depression. After recording with Martin, McDonald and Hayes had prolific careers working together and in separate ensembles. Among the groups they led were the Old Southern Jug Blowers, Earl McDonald's original Louisville Jug Band, the Louisville Stompers, and Clifford's Louisville Jug Band. Many of these groups used the same crop of musicians but recorded for different record labels. The most popular of the McDonald and Hayes collaborations was the Dixieland Jug Blowers, who incorporated jazz instrumentation into the string band setting. Noted jazz musicians Johnny Dodds and Earl Hines both recorded with the Dixieland Jug Blowers. McDonald led a group called the Ballard Chefs on WHAS radio from 1929 to 1932. That show was sponsored by the Ballard and Ballard Flour Company, and the musicians dressed in chef's uniforms. The show was so popular that the Chicago Defender estimated that 10,000 fans showed up when the chefs performed in Richmond, Virginia. Jug band music lost its popularity in America during the Great Depression. The music did continue to hold an audience in England, where it inspired the skiffle craze in the 1950s. Jug band music found a new American audience during the 1960s folk revival, but few African American musicians were attracted to the genre because of its minstrel show roots and plantation imagery. In 2014, the National Jug Band Jubilee partnered with the Kentuckiana Blues Society to raise money to place a tombstone on Sir Martin's unmarked grave in the Louisville Cemetery. The effort was so successful that the organizations were able to upgrade nearby memorials to Sylvester Weaver and Earl McDonald. If you'd like to learn more about the history of jug band music or volunteer for the National Jug Band Jubilee, please check out our website at www.jugbandjubilee.com.